going through that space of giving validation to the little boy, and the importance of instilling this validation in our black boys at a young age, and how important that is, because without doing that, how it can alter how you look for validation as a grown black man.
The validation that I received growing up mostly came from my mother, my grandmother, my great grandparents. My uncles were working, going into school, so I really didn't have a lot of male influence
Hmm.
of speaking into me, telling me who I am. Like women, great, but men, not so much. And I probably dealt with a lot of things that I probably would not have had to deal with if I would have had that voice speaking into me.
Hmm.
So I make sure now that every young man, every young kid that I come in contact with, I'm giving them that validation, that support, that encouragement that I didn't get, that I felt that I needed at that time, so that I can believe in myself and be open. I
Hmm.
do know sometimes that we're still living in a world where a lot of men are not present for their children and their kids. But every chance that I can be that for them, I'm going to be that, because I probably did not really fully come into the knowledge of who I was until I went to a church here and set up under a pastor. Shout out to Pastor Brown, that helped me really come into that place. That was my first interaction with a man older that didn't want anything from me, just wanted to pour into me,
Yeah.
and it felt weird because I'm like, why are you encouraging me? Why are you pouring into me? Okay, what do you want? Do you need
Hmm.
something? Do you Is this a transaction? What is this? And it was like, no, I'm here to build you up.
Hmm.
Okay, but what do you want? I don't want anything. I want to see you better. I want to see you come into form. And that's when I really started sitting into that place. So I think it's very important. And for the women that have sons and don't have, a father there, get connected to units where you get solid men that can pour into those young boys to validate themselves. Because I do think when we're not validated, we allow anything and everything, to come into us, and we get confused with who we are. And
Hmm.
I don't want that to happen.
I think that's really good. And then going back into how that impacts you as a creative, because if you've experienced distrust throughout your life, when you start looking for your own voice, it will make you question what you're hearing, or it will make
Mm-hmm.
you not as confident or show up as you should, because this theme of distrust and lack of validation, um it trickles through out your different chapters of life. So now you get to this
Mm-hmm.
place where you're being a creative and you're putting out a narrative, and then you're like, well, should I do this, or am I really making an impact, or maybe I should do something. Like, you start kind of overthinking, you start over
Mm-hmm.
analyzing, and you begin to nitpick at yourself. So can
Mm-hmm.
you kind of
Mm-hmm.
touch on that a little bit more, JT?
Yeah. And you hit it on the head about what you're being told, because if the right thing is not being poured into you, that leaves room for the wrong thing.
Hmm.
Because